This is for you as a user. It is quite familiar. It is easy to adopt. It's easy to implement. And yeah, all of our solutions are there to reduce workload on the accounts payable departments. Worldwide, we have over 18,000 customers. And thanks to partners like Cloudy IT, we continue to grow our solutions more and more each year. So if we go to the next slide, we'll take a close look at document capture today, as promised. Document capture is our solution for accounts payable automation. Well, of course, sit back, relax, and enjoy the demo. Like I said, all of our solutions fully integrated in Business Central. And this is where the finance team has the full overview in the form of a role center. If you take a close look, you can also see that I've activated one of our other solutions, expense management here, so I can see all the expense management activities. But today, the talks will be on document capture, right? So what do we see here in the role center? To start off with, on the left-hand side, we can see how many documents or how many invoices, let's talk invoices, how many invoices came in. And they can come in either via post or the other option is via email, which is more common, I guess, these days. So we will connect document capture to an email address that you might already have for purchase invoices. And automatically, without you having to do anything for it, the documents will enter the system automatically. As you can see over here, back in the role center, we can see we have 12 documents waiting for us. Now, before we go into the document journal where we handle the invoices, we'll take a look on what else do we see here. And in the middle, we can see purchase approvals for invoices as well as for credit memos. Of course, with document capture, we can approve your purchase invoices and credit memos. Later on in the demo, I will explain you more on how you can approve the different the different documents. So in this demo, I'll show you 3 types of invoices. We'll start off easy with this simple cost invoice, and then we'll take a step up. We'll step it up a bit, show an order or an invoice that will match against an order, and also the line recognition. Now, I was explaining you're going to create templates per vendor, and you can create many templates per vendor, multiple. If a vendor sends you multiple types of invoices. Now, in this case, we're going to create the first template, but before we create this template, let's see how did document capture recognize this vendor, because as you can see over here, it recognized this document is coming from First Up Consultants. How did it do it? Well, in this case, it found a VAT number here on the invoice when the OCR scanner scanned the document. And with this VAT number, it made a match on the vendor card with First Up Consultants. And if there's no VAT number on the invoice, no worries, the system automatically looks further for other details to make the match. If it's a new vendor that hasn't been created yet in your system, then you can start creating the vendor from here. If it's no match or a mismatch maybe, then it's one of the benefits being fully integrated into your ERP system. Clicking on the 3 dots there opens your vendor list. And as you can see, you can select the correct vendor manually. But now in this case, it did recognize the correct vendor, so no worries on that. And now we can start creating the first template. And template making is something that you can do will do in the beginning. And as soon as you've created the templates for the vendors, then the invoices will flow through the system automatically without you having to see or touch the invoice anymore from account payables perspective. All right, so let's go through all the fields. Now, in this case, we can see the invoice number was captured, and this is the master template. So this is your starting point. And of course, you can change or amend this master template to your liking. You can add fields, remove fields, and you don't need Cloudy IT to do this for you. Once they've trained you on how to use our solution, you can do this yourself really easy. I always say if I can do it, everyone can do it. Now, so the first field, invoice number, as you can see, it also gets highlighted on the invoice here on the right-hand side of the screen. And Document Capture always jumps to where it found the value for you. Quite a handy feature. Captured correctly. Now let's say if it wasn't captured or incorrect, then we would have a wording down below here in the comment section. You could check, okay, I can see definitely this is an empty field, so we need to fill it. How do we do it then? You see the invoice number here in the invoice. So left-hand mouse button and right-hand mouse button. And we fixed it. And now Document Capture, if this was a mistake, it won't make the same mistake twice. We'll move on to the next field. Document date, or the invoice date was captured. The due date was captured from the invoice, as you can see here, but you will also have the option to calculate the due date based on the payment terms for this vendor, of course. You are in the lead. Document Capture will honor the payment terms that you have for sure. Contact person was captured. There's no order number on this first invoice. That's why the field is open. There's also no currency code filled in because GBP is the local currency within this demo system. Should this be an invoice in euros or US dollars maybe, then of course we would have seen the currency code here. It also captured the amounts and it validates the amounts as well. So it checks, is this 20% of the amount ex VAT? And are these two the same as the amount including VAT? If it's a vendor with multiple VAT amounts, then you can add a VAT amount. If it's a no VAT, vendor with no VAT, then yeah, it will not look for it because it looks at the vendor posting groups. Account type, the next field. Now we can see you must specify an account type. Well, in this case, I click on the three dots and then I can choose, I want to post this to 1GL, or maybe I want to link it to a purchase contract as mentioned earlier. For the demo, we'll choose GL and move one field down to the GL account list. Clicking on the three dots opens up your GL account list, of course. And in this case, we are going to say, let's post this one to the office supplies general ledger account. Do I want to set this as a default? Yes, please, because then I won't have to fill it in the next time again. The line posting description, and we're almost done with setting up the first template. Line posting description, we can do several things here. So as you can see, we've now captured the text from the invoice, but you will also be able to type in something manual here. You can combine fields from the template if you want to. There's several options. Moving down to the last field, invoice, credit memo, or prepayment invoice. Document Capture also automatically recognizes what type the document is that comes in. In this case, it's an invoice. It recognizes that it's an invoice. And we are now ready to register. And once we click register, of course, this all can be automated once you've set up the templates. And once we click register, the standard Business Central purchase invoice screen opens. We've also added the image of the invoice here on the right-hand side. And now you can see the data that was captured from the document was filled into the fields here. All right, looks good. I'll send it for approval. And as promised, I have a lot more to show you. So this was simple cost invoice, but we can do more as promised. We can do order matching. And in this case, we have an invoice with some items on it. And we would like to match it against the purchase receipt lines that I have in my system. So you can do several things in regards to the matching. The first matching option is based on a total amount, and then Document Capture looks at the invoice and the order. If they are both £100 or £1,000, then it's a match and it goes through. The downside of this is that you do not know whether you ordered a, I don't know, Lenovo or a Dell laptop. This is why we developed a second method. And with this second method, you can match on a line item level. So you can match, did we actually receive those 20 lamps for £25, those 5 whiteboards for £700. And this is, of course, making your match very accurate. It also allows you to do partial matching. You can set up tolerances per vendor as well, or skip the approval if the match is 100%. So your match will become very accurate. Now, in this case, I'll show you the manual matching, but of course, you can set up on the template card for each vendor whether you want to run the auto match in the background. So for now, I'll do the manual matching, where we go to the matching screen that you will get with Document Capture. Again, the invoice on the right side, the order lines, so basically all the orders that haven't been received yet for this vendor in this case. And in the top, we can see our receipt lines. And those are the lines where, let me filter, where we would like to match this invoice against. So as you can see, it has all the information. It has the amounts that we need to have in order to match. The quantities are there. And now it's really easy. Clicking on Perform Match will make sure that the invoice is matched against receipt lines. And oh, we're so happy. It's a happy flow today. It's 100% match. As you can see, there's no differences. Should there be a difference, you can see it in this column, as well as here in the top right. Also, the line where the difference is in will not be made bold like they are now. So you can really easily see where is the difference. Yeah, in this case, it matched 100%. So we could now set up to skip the approval workflow. Yeah, like I said, we can do. We can skip the approval. We can set up tolerances per vendor, where within you can accept any differences. In this case, we can now see it matched fully with the purchase receipt, but it also will tell you if it's not the case. Maybe if the tolerance level has been exceeded. Maybe it was a partial match. The system will always give you clear comments on what it did. That's what I wanted to show you. So in this case, 100% match. I'll register the document. And once we go into the purchase invoice screen, I will also send this one for approval so that later on, when we get to the approvals, we have some invoices that we can approve. Now, the last type of invoice that I would like to show you is this one. As you can see, this is an invoice that contains 3 lines with different items. In this demo system, there's no purchase order to match this invoice against, but I want to show you how we can capture the line details of this invoice by using AI. So we could now post it to OneGL, but we don't want this. We go into the document card. I'll go to document and then document card. And this is also in regards to template making and where you set up how you want to capture the line details for this invoice, for this vendor. Now, in this case, recognize lines is set to no, but we want to capture the line data and we don't want to type it in manually, right? That's what we don't want to do. So we have 2 options. Where do we capture the lines? Here in this tab called lines, of course. What else? We have a few options. The old-fashioned way, manually, and then I would need to drag the yellow boxes like I did with the first invoice around the headers. But since we now have AI in the OCR technology, it's just one click of the button. And as you can see, the system is super clever. It recognizes the line details from the invoice. And I can hear you thinking, yeah, but it's a really easy invoice. It's only 3 lines. But trust me, if it's an invoice with 10, 20, 30 pages with all line items, Document Capture will capture all the line details for you automatically. And this is a huge time saver, of course. Now you can see we have some errors. We need to translate the lines. As I mentioned, there's no purchase order. If there was a purchase order, the translations would have been applied here. But now we can do it manually, or we can use the item tables in the system if we have, but in this system we don't have them. So I would now be able to say manually, okay, this London chair has a different item number. So I'll link the vendor item number to our item number. I'll do the same for the Paris chair. And we also have this mouse pad, which I would like to post to a general ledger account. And I also use the office supplies, which we previously used. Now, Document Capture also remembers these translations, of course. So the next time we receive an invoice with the same items, the translations will be applied automatically for sure. So ready to register, purchase invoice screen again, and now I'll send this one for approval. If we now go a couple of screens back and take a close look again at the role center, we can see some things have changed. In this case, 3 invoices that we've handled have now moved this way. And as the accounts payable team, I have the full overview of all the invoices with the status. So these are pending approval, and I can see by who. So in this demo system, it's quite limited. They're all with Robin. We have 2 approver users in the system. But of course, there's much more to do with the approvals. So first, you could approve in Business Central, or you have a second option, which is our web approval portal. The features or the functionality of the web approval portal is the same as in Business Central, but this web approval portal can be accessed with only a Microsoft team member license.